I had an imaginary conversation with God the other day, and I said, as you may know, humans have become very much concerned about their pronouns. And we have been using the pronoun he to talk of you. Do you agree with that? Or what is your pronoun? And God said, in my imaginary conversation, God said, you are perceiving all this. Now, can you be aware, in addition to being aware of sense perceptions, can you be aware of yourself as the consciousness that's perceiving all that? Can you sense the being of you, the presence that you are here and now, that's behind all sense perceptions? It's a bit like a canvas on which everything is painted. You are that, and that is very still. There's this inner stillness, vitally important. Inner stillness arises, is not arises, is discovered. So that's the deep I. The deep I is you as the unconditioned consciousness. The stillness is a word, you can use that as a pointer. It is stillness. It is alive. You don't know much in that sense. All you know is that you are. I am, but nothing is added to it. Not I am this, I am that. It's the pure beingness of you in that moment of stillness, and that underlies the sense perceptions. So another way of putting it is, can you be aware right now that you are aware? Can you be aware of your awareness? The moment I talk about it, a duality, you might have noticed, you might have noticed that when I talk about it, a duality seems to arise, because I'm saying, can you be aware of your awareness? I've created the language, the sentence structure has created a duality, as if there were I who is being aware of the awareness. That's not true, but when I talk about it, it's almost inevitable, because every sentence has a subject and an object. But there is not you and the awareness. You are the awareness. So another way of putting it is perhaps more correct, is to say awareness becomes self-aware. Awareness becomes aware of itself, and that's you. That's the deep I. The deep I, which is completely still, has always been there. You don't need to, there's nothing to achieve, because it's always been there underneath all that, the noise of the world and the noise of the mind. It's always been there, only to be discovered. So it's not an achievement, because achievement would imply time. To achieve something, you need time. It's a discovery. It's of what is already there as the essence of you. But that far transcends who or what you are as this little entity. Neither the physical entity or the psychological entity. At that level of the deep I, you are connected to the deep I, one could say the deep I of the world. You're connected to the totality of all life. You're connected to the source of all life, which some people call God. The source of all life, you're very deep, and it's not only an insignificant part of you lives in this, on this surface dimension of life, so that this realization is of the I am, that Jesus pointed to it when he said, before Abraham was, I am. That he points to the eternal I am that's hiding. He wasn't talking about his body, because the body was born and then the body died. I don't know what happened, but let's put it that aside. There's a deeper I. I rarely use the word God, because God inevitably conjures up an entity, an encapsulated entity. The word itself, God, inevitably almost it's somewhere. God is somewhere in space and time. But that's not how I see it. That's a mental concept. God transcends all that, and therefore also God is usually, the pronoun that comes up is God is he, been traditionally, and I can't do that. It doesn't feel quite right. So I had an imaginary conversation with God the other day, and I said, as you may know, humans have become very much concerned about their pronouns. And we have been using the pronoun he to talk of you. Do you agree with that? Or what is your pronoun? And God said, in my imaginary conversation, God said, why are you asking me that? Only 3.5 minutes ago, I told Moses what my pronouns are. I said 3.5 minutes. Well, to us it's 3,500 years. Because Moses in the Old Testament met God on the top of a mountain and he asked, who are you? What's your name? That's in the Old Testament. And God said, I am the I am. And Moses was astonished. Yes? And Moses said, when I come down from the mountain to talk to my people, what shall I tell them? Who spoke to me? And that literally says, tell them, the I am spoke to you. Whoa, that's amazing. The I am spoke to you. So God's pronoun is I. Mine also.